Hi friends, I wanted to come to you today to present a different type of reading. We will use multiple traditions, multiple spiritual traditions, mysticism, religion, psychology, philosophy, an amalgamation of things to help you simply integrate what you're going through. Let me tell you what I'm going through right now. I'm sitting here almost in between years in that liminal space. Here it is, the 30th of the year. In 2 days will be 2026. Today is December 30th, 2025. A lot of people were sitting in things we're thinking about that we would like to happen in the new year. Some of us had a rough year in 2025. Not everybody did. Mine was rough in a certain way. I'm transitioning into newer things, as many people are right now. And I know you probably feel this as well. You have ideas of how you would like to shape your lyre. That's interesting. Nice slip there. A lyre is an instrument that you use to create music, which I intend to create music this year too. I may do a lot of things, but a lot of you have ideas of how you would like everything to shape. And I would like you just to come to right here, right now. Let's let these ideas in the future and the past collapse to right here with us. We have a little bit different reading today. I did a little bit before coming on here. I'm going to use a Norse deck, Jalahorn is the Norse Oracle. This is the booklet from it. Here's what the cards look like on the back. I don't know if you can see that. And we'll start with that. But let me tell you where I am. This is the King of Pentacles from the Witch's Tarot. And now Tarot, there's no reason to have fear of this. And we'll touch on that in a little bit. These are just tools that help you integrate your own mind. They don't read futures necessarily. A lot of people may say that, or may try to give you, oh, this is about love, or this is about that, or whatever. I'm not going to give you any specifics. I'm just going to tell you the state of things. These are the processes within your mind and in your body and in your nervous system. And we'll touch on many different traditions and things as we do this. We're even going to use the Bible. The Bible is my past life, if you will. It's within this lifetime, but it's where I came from. And it is also just symbolism, and we're going to use a specific scripture today that I opened at random to. And I say in quotes because there's nothing random about your life. It may look chaotic, it may look random, but everything is a sequence of events that have led you to now and are taking you to your future. But let's sit right here with that. Let's start with that. Let's start with the beginning. Let's start with the scripture, which is Psalm 53. And I know a lot of you may have heard this before. Some of you haven't. Maybe you're new to this system of belief. In Psalm 53:1, David is in a state where the nation of Israel, or he, is under attack from enemies. Okay. And he's stating things from his state, which is fear. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. Now, I'm not going to try to judge the scripture or anything. I'm just going to do a little bit of interpretation from his state of mind. Corrupt are they, and have done abominable iniquity, and there's none that doeth good. And now here's where he goes into separation. His fear takes him into separation from God, because we know that God is love. God is all. And here's where his fear about things in. God looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand, that did seek God. Okay. Right there, he just separated himself from God. That fear is separating him from a God above instead of a God in his heart, and understanding that he is in these circumstances and he's in fear. And it's talking about everybody going back to their own ways, and there's none that doeth good, no, not one. here in verse 5, he even states his fear. There were they in great fear, where no fear was. For God hath scattered the bones of him that encamps against thee. He's talking about enemies now. Thou hast put them to shame. And here we have shame. We don't have fear, we have shame. Because God hath despised them. This is the King James Version, it's Old English. He hates them. And we know God is not hate. God doesn't hate things. These are men's perspective on God. God is all experience, even truthfully, fear and hate. It is part of what exists, so therefore it is part of God. However, it is not qualities we usually associate with love. It is not qualities we associate with stability. Fear causes anxiety. It causes the mind to race, the body to pulse and race. Fear and, fight or flight, as they say. If you're in fear, you're either going to be ready to fight or ready to run, or some people just freeze. But this is the state that a lot of people are in. They have anxiety about this new year and fear and regret and shame about the past. And I just want to bring you right here for a moment of peace. Sit with me for a moment. And just breathe in and out slowly. I'm not going to ask you to do so many rhythms or whatever. I'm not like most people. We're going to stay moving as we do this. Motion is the fundamental. And a lot of people are like, what? And it's like, this is the fundamental of creation itself. And I'm not promoting creation as a theory. I'm just saying that the state of creation comes from motion. You have to put things in motion when you create. All right. David was in a state of fear in this scripture. And he was like, oh, that the salvation of Israel, so the last verse of the chapter, will come out of Zion when God bringeth back the captivity of his people. This tells the state that him and his nation are in. They feel like they're in captivity. They're at war, whatever they're at. I don't know the exact state. I don't know the exact history, but he's speaking from fear. And we'll close that because this is a chapter I'm closing in my life. It's not that I don't believe the Bible or anything like that. It has a lot of gems in it. But I'm not a person that literally interprets the Bible or any other scripture for that matter as fact. These are just part of our lived experience, and this is what we're having right now is a lived experience. All right, let's get into the reading. I pulled some cards from the Norse deck for us as a collective. I won't say you because I need to include me because this is what we're all going through. First, I have Berkano, which is the bee and the runes. It has to do with a new beginning, and that's what we're all thinking about right now is the new year coming in. What things are we going to do to bring truth and honesty to our new beginning? We have to let go of old ways of thinking, old ways of being, to enter into new ways of being. And this, I'm doing this also with my business. I'm not necessarily quitting my business or anything like that. I'm pivoting it from I do power washing, my main business, and it's a little slow right now. Anyway, I'm not going to get off topic too much, but I am birthing it from using sodium hypochlorite, which is bleach, which is something that destroys life, to oxygen-based cleaners, things that oxygenate. It takes a little bit more agitation, but it's way more friendly to the environment, does less damage to the surfaces, and it is just a pivot that I'm going to take this business. Anyway, let's go back to the collective. I'm just being real here. Berkano, a birth, a renewal. We're at the end of one cycle and stepping into another. Then we have the deity from the deck. The deities are just archetypes. I'm not talking about actual gods. This is just representative in our minds of what it is. And this is Sijin. And she was the wife of Loki, the trickster, who had tricked one of his fellows, brothers, whatever, to kill another brother. He was a trickster. But she was still devoted to him and visited him in prison and was devoted. And this calls into into focus for us right now our relationships and how we view love and devotion and duty and loyalty. I want you to sit for this for a moment because everybody's in a different spot. I am in a good relationship. My wife and I have a good relationship. It may not always be as physical as most people want, although we have lots of affection. Anyway, I'm not going to delve too much in it, and I don't want to bring her too much into this. But we're at a spot where we're transitioning our finances. We're doing a whole bunch of things. I don't need to go into detail. But the way that we're expressing love in our relationships is bringing into focus. Okay. Now, this is an aspect in everybody's life where you take an honest look at your relationships and see what you really want to continue with. I mean, do you want to continue the relationships? Are you bringing something bad or toxic? Are they? I'm not even saying, I'm not trying to judge your relationship, but just trying to get you to look at yourself. Don't look at me. I'm just a man, but I have a message, and the message is this. We're sitting here at the end of one year, about to start another, and you have a whole bunch of ideas, possibly. Some people don't. Some people don't have to have New Year's resolutions or anything like that to hold on to. A lot of people, they make it too rigid and it's not sustainable, so it only lasts a few weeks. This is a common thing. I've done it before too. It's the reason I don't make resolutions. I make small changes. And this is what I invite you to do. Make very small changes. Don't start with 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day exercise program and think you're going to start with nothing and sustain it. That's extremely hard. What you can do, though, is 5 to 7 minutes. That's easily sustainable. You can fit that in almost anybody's schedule. Just start with some stretching. Get some movement in your body. I do a little bit of a cross between yoga and Tai Chi and some stretching in the morning. And I've made space now in my morning, every morning, regardless of what else is going on, make some space, just 5 to 7 minutes. That's all you need to start with. Now, I could tell you to go outside and ground, walk barefoot in the grass. That's fine. That's what I do. I walk in the grass a little bit. Not every morning, but I try to most mornings. I go out in the sunlight. I work outside a lot, so I'm in the sunlight a lot anyway when I work. But get some sun. It's good for your body. It helps your body create vitamin D. Anyway, set up some routines. It's just minor stuff. Fit it in somewhere with your coffee. I ain't saying stop doing anything. Just create something new, because when you move into a new thing is when you're showing movement. I don't know if you know the degree of the year, but it's less than one arc on the arc in the 360 or 65 roughly, and the arc around the sun is 0.9856, or not quite a whole day. But that's only the degree that you need to change your life. One little piece at a time, one little step. Let's call it a step. In the 360 degrees, and you can say 180 if you want to, whatever. But yeah, 360 degree is an arc, but let's spiral that. Instead of looking at it like a circle, let's start it here where you're beginning and you're building up. So your circle is going to look like this. It's going to spiral to this point. This is where you'll be in a year. And I'm just showing you this is not a level, or you can call it a level, but it's actually, if you turn it back horizontally, now we have a sphere. All right. So you're starting here with one step, and instead of it being a stairway, don't look at it that way. Look at a subtle winding path that you're changing 1 degree at a time. See what I'm saying? Till you're here, and now you have not only a circle but a sphere. You've changed your life in a year with one little 5 to 7 minutes a day. And you could do this with multiple areas of your life. Anyway, let's go back to the reading. We have, and this deck has 3 different things. You have your runes, you have your deities, and you have your sigils or symbols. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this word, but that's just real. Lhasa Barsator? I don't know if that's even pronouncing it right. But this is the symbol we got. You see it's very square, but it has the triad in between there. I'm not sure of the exact symbolism. I'm learning this deck as we're going. How authentic is that, right? But this represents the truth that is revealed and integrated into your life. So if you're going into a new cycle, looking at your relationships with life, we're revealing the truth. So, and this is where you need to look inside yourself. Don't try to find the truth from me. I have my truth, but you're looking for your truth, and you're going to need to sit with that and not be afraid of it. And this is the perfect time to bring in the shadow. Oh, everybody looks at shadow or darkness as something scary. Well, we're about to bring light to it, so it's not so scary. But this takes facing those truths and being honest with yourself. That's the hardest thing in life to do, is be honest with yourself. And people are like, oh, yeah. No, your true feelings about the way you've been afraid your whole life, a lot of times, just to state what you desire. Because thoughts of how other people would perceive it, how it would affect your work, how it affects your relationships. And we're going to start with a deck, and and this is meant to be a little scary on the surface. That's the whole point. This deck is called the Spirit Box, and it came from the voodoo tradition, or voodoo. There's nothing really scary here. It just takes a look at the dark side of what we suppress, and what we don't deal with, the desires we don't state or don't think about, put away. And that's a little scary, the image there, but this is a tarot deck also. And what we have at the bottom of the deck is what everybody wants. This is the Nine of Coins. You see the chest behind her? Her life is full. It's overflowing with abundance and wealth. And she looks pretty healthy. She's leaning against her life as a success. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants success. Well, guess what? Your success is revealed by the things you're not looking at, that you're just not seeing. The same with me, and I've discovered this when I started being honest with myself and looking at the dark side, if you will, and just accepting things and starting to look at it. There's nothing to be scared of. It was desires. Everybody desires abundance of health, not to worry about the bills, to have good relationships, good friends, a good relationship with your wife or your husband or your children, whatever. Your friends, even if you're single, you may not even be focused on a relationship right now as far as that's fine too. Everybody's in a different place. But everybody has things they're not dealing with and desires they don't speak because they're just plainly afraid to. You've been taught it was wrong to seek what you want out of life somehow. And we've all done it and be like, well, if I do this, how's that going to affect them? And if I do this, how's that going to affect this? And our mind just races and worries. And I'm inviting you to, the mind's going to keep going. Let it. I'm giving you a simple secret. It ain't really secret, but this is a simple secret. Your mind ain't going to shut up. You got to learn how to pull away from the thoughts. It's not as hard as you think it is. It's not some mystical thing. It's just allowing you to sit with your breath. First of all, that's the thing. Put some space between you and your thoughts. Don't respond. Just breathe for a little bit. Take a few breaths. Be aware of the thoughts, and they're going to try to drag you. They're like trains leaving the station. You don't have to get on them, though. You just have to sit right here with it. All right. We're going to reveal what the shadow reveals, and we're going to take this deck, and this is the back of them. We're just going to pull cards from this deck. I got one that was on the bottom. That was the only one that anything. We're going to pull this live because the shadow reveals. We're going to see what it reveals for us. What's our next step? Or what we're not looking at. All of us, including me. We have the Ungin of Wands. All right. I don't remember if this is the Knight or the King of Wands. But this is creative energy. All right. And I will get the booklet out because I'm still learning these cards too. And like I said, this is live. I'm learning too. So we're going to look up the definition. I mean, I know what the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands means in a regular deck, but we're going to look at this because I'm familiar with this. Okay, so this would be like the Ungin. Yeah, this is the King of Wands, it says actually. This is a charismatic male figure, confident, dynamic, and capable of inspiring others with leadership. Ooh, you have some leadership qualities. I know I do. It's hard to lead, though, when you don't know what you want because you're not stating it with clarity. It says positive, integrity, honesty, loyalty, the same things we were talking about just then. Authority, vision, passion, mediation and leadership, assertiveness, support, sudden success, okay, marriage, guidance, kindness, and it's a father archetype. You may be looking for that in your life. I embody it, but that's why I'm here. I'm just trying to be, you don't project on me as your father. I'm not your father. Woo, I'm your father. That's not even how that goes. But anyway, and you can see my Nightmare Before Christmas shirt. I'm just being real here. My desk is a mess. You want to see? I got cards, keyboard, whatever. But I just thought I'd keep it real. I ain't trying to clear no space for no dramatic effect because this is all authentic. You're getting live version, well, taped, if you want to say that. But I'm not trying to edit for anything. I'm just going to post this video as is. Anyway, back to the reading. So we have the Ungin of Wands, or the King of Wands. And what this is telling me is you want leadership role in your own life. You want your desires and your dreams to manifest. Everybody does. So stop denying it. Just look at it. Be real about it. What do you desire out of life? And a lot of times that just takes sitting with it to find out. Write it down. Whatever you got to do. Write down your dreams. They're never going to come about unless you take some steps toward them. And you can start with 5 to 7 minutes a day. And in a year, a dream for you can come true. Can you imagine that? One of your dreams can be real in a year. Just by setting 5 to 7 minutes at a time toward it. Mine actually was just inner peace. And here I am. My mind ain't racing. I'm not regretting my past. I don't have anxiety about the future. Do I have problems? Of course I do, man. I don't even have to go into it. Let's just say my bank account has been in the red for a while, and especially here at Christmas. You know how it is. We're living life. All right, we're going to take another card from the deck, and I'm just going to take where it feels. Some people let them drop out. It don't matter what you do. It's all your style. My style is just keep going until either one drops out or I feel like right there, this is the card. Strength. All right, we all know strength. And this one, the symbolism is kind of messy here. You have a skull at the bottom. You have almost a devilish figure up there at the top. It reminds me of a jester in ways, but it's a chain breaker. All right, this tells me that we're ready to break some chains. We're ready to break some patterns. We want to put some new patterns, some new things in our life. Everybody does. Look at the time of year. Everybody talks about New Year's resolution. This is where we are. It's strong. Everything is strong. Move in this strength right here. You pick up some momentum. All it takes is 5 to 7 minutes a day. And over a year, you'll be surprised. You start applying this to different areas of your life, making space for it. Your whole entire life will change over the course of the next year. You'll be looking back and be like, what the hell just happened? All right, we'll get one more card from this before we close out today's reading. This is the Doll of Swords. You can see he's got the statuette with the nails pierced in it. And this is where your state of mind is. Probably right now. You feel cut off from your body. You're like, how in the hell am I going to do that? I have all these thoughts. Well, first of all, you got to seat those thoughts. And people are like, well, I don't understand what you mean. I can only speak from my experience. All right, what I've done is sit all these facets down at the table. Ego, shadow, what we're dealing with right now. Other people, my fears, my anxieties, the things I do have going right. Everything. Sit it down at the round table, as they say. All right, you. Let's listen to you. Inner critic. What do you got to say? Yeah, we've done that in the past. I agree. We're changing this. We're going to put things in motion to change this. Ego. Oh yeah, you worked hard. You kept us alive till now. That's great. That's what you're for. To help us survive. You're our coping mechanism. Everything we don't deal with, yeah, that goes over there to you, Shadow. If I ain't dealing with that, I want something, but damn, I don't think I can have it. I don't think I'm worthy of it. But you are. I am. We're all worthy of the things we desire. And the easiest way to get there is 5 to 7 minutes at a time. I hate to reveal all these mystical secrets as something simple, but they really are. All these traditions, the cards, mysticism, Kundalini, all these I name that because I have some people going through it and they're struggling, and I'm not denying their struggle, but it's because they're resisting the changes. This is why it's intense for them. You can either sit the ego down and talk to it, or you can be shaken awake. I've had some instances in my life where I had to shake too. I got scars on my body from accidents and things that have happened in my life that have scarred me. It's one of the reasons I don't have tattoos. I got enough scars without having to have tattoos. And I don't need to wear my mental state out where everybody can see it. But that's another discussion. And there may be some little thing I haven't dealt with in that even. I'm just being honest. But that's what you got to do with yourself. You just got to sit with things and be honest. Sit it all at a table. Get some paper out. Write it down. Put it in your computer. Talk to AI about it, but tell it you want it to be clear. You don't want it to do your thinking for you. You just want it to reflect your thinking to you and help break things down. That's the way I use it. I'm not really trying to get anything from it and let it do the thinking from me, but it makes great paper. And it may even reflect things to you weren't aware of occasionally. And then you look at it and be like, oh, yeah, maybe I wasn't dealing with that. But then, don't let it think for you. So that's easy to do. But you can use it to structure the paper, or as I say, the ideas. I started with some stuff on here. The old you. And you may even think you're separated right now from everything. You've partitioned your mind, partitioned your life off to deal with it. And I understand, I did too. Mine's pretty messy sometimes, but I'm just being real. But now I'm putting a method to the madness. And through the madness, I found peace. And now I'm restoring my life from that inner peace, one piece at a time. Think about that for a minute. Is your life chaos? Well, the order starts inside you, not out here. And you're not going to be able to, no matter what you do, you can sweep a house out, you can clean it multiple times, but that's not real. That's not lived in. That's just a space you create to think you've structured something. Structure your inside first, and then watch your life change completely in a year. 5 to 7 minutes at a time. I want to thank you for joining me today. And I invite you to take that 5 to 7 minutes for yourself every day. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Yeah, you have kids, you have job, you have whatever you got going in your life. But put it in some perspective. Put some space between you and that. It'll help change you. We'll see you next time.